Muchi India Jana Hai. Hello everyone and welcome to Culture Shock. Today's guest is all the way from the capital of India. Swati works with tigers. And she's going to share that with us, along with some really interesting topics to know about her culture and where she comes from. Please welcome Swati. A media professional, dog behaviorist.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome.
Say hi to Yusuf. She's 7 years old. She's Lhasa Apso, white. And she's my youngest girl. My dogs are Giggle, Tickle, Feather. And she's the youngest one.
A writer and a poet, which is such an interesting mix.
So I started off my career with being a media professional. I started making documentaries and corporate films. I did a lot of ads. I worked on a few feature films. I worked on films like Life by Eat, Pray, Love.
Hey.
So I was in the production department, in the direction department. While I was doing all of that, I wanted to do something that would just make me happy. And, I've always had dogs. And I had a lot of people come to me and ask me questions, like their day-to-day questions about, what can we feed it? What can't we feed a dog? When do we give it a bath? About vaccination, about grooming. A lot of people want to keep pets, but they're not aware how to take care of pets. I was studying about it and I started helping people out. I started training dogs. So yeah, that's how actually my work with dogs started. It was a course that I was doing in animal behavior. So they were teaching us about feline behavior there, which is the cat family. And it really got me intrigued. And I was like, wait a second, why don't I know about this? Then I started going to a lot of tiger reserves in India because I don't know if you know, but 70% of wild tigers in the world are in India. India plays a very, very important role in conservation of tigers. When I started going to the jungle, it really intrigued me. And it's such a majestic creature to study. My poetry is something that I've been doing since I was a kid. I used to write it like a diary, like a journal. For the past 4 or 5 years, I started putting my poetry out there, I started performing, I started going on stage with it.
I love how this mix of professions came about in such an interesting way. You were like exploring it. You figure out what you're passionate about, what you love, and then you go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There was a project that was introduced in India called Save the Tiger Project, which got a lot of support from the international community as well. Under the project, we created safe forest zones for tigers in India. We've managed to increase the population to almost 3,000 tigers now in India. Every tiger reserve that there's a tourist area there that you can go and you can do your safaris there and you can try your luck in spotting a tiger. If the tiger gods bless you, then you get a chance to see them. India is very interesting, very honestly, because we're so diverse. It's not only called a country, it's called a subcontinent.
Right.
And that's a beauty. And that's the beauty of the country, because if you go state to state in this country, people are very different. They look different, they talk different, their cultures are different. It's just a beautiful mix of different people staying together, people of different languages, people of different religions, people who look different, and they're all staying together. Indian culture is so different in every way. Family to family cultures change, and values change. I've seen the most liberal families, with very liberal views. My family is one such family. My family never really had any kind of prejudice in terms of what I want to do, what I don't want to do. And I think as a result of which I'm doing very different things, and they're not very conventional per se. Stereotypes about India. And I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of foreign crew. And a lot of people come to India to shoot, and because we have beautiful locations here. I've had foreign crew come and say the most absurd things. Foreign crew member just came to India and she looked at me and she said, "You wear shorts in India? You can roam around in hot pants in India?" Like, yeah. She's like, "Is it safe?" I said, yeah, it is. So I think a lot of people have those notions about India, which are really funny. which is not true. I can only put myself as an example. I have been living alone and working by myself in the capital of the country. I've had no problems. I feel extremely safe in my country. I wear whatever I want to wear. I go out to work. I go out to party. I come back late. I use public transport. Of course, there are accidents that happen. Of course, there are incidents that have happened. We don't have to be reckless. We have to be careful with everything that we do. It's not that, our country's this unsafe country for women, Right. So that's a notion that's very absurd. I'm going to give you the typical stereotypes about Egypt, the desert and the beautiful pyramids and the Sphinx and the cats and the mysterious stories about the cats and the mummies and all that. And since a kid, because that's what we've read in books and seen in movies and to the mummy, everything has portrayed Egypt like that.
Exactly.
Like every time you think about Egypt, it's like the serene, beautiful landscape with these structures and this beautiful music that you have in your head and a certain color palette theme that, comes to the mind. With naan, we have our butter chicken and we have our dal makhni, and that's a typical Delhi dish. If I'm traveling and if I'm out of Delhi for really long, the one thing that I crave for is my butter chicken and dal makhni.
We have something called koshari.
Okay. So what is that? A pot full of carbs.
Exactly.
So perfect. We're both talking about food that makes us very, very fat. I'm talking about cream. You're talking about carbs.
Exactly. Exactly. They complete each other.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you'd like India to be known for?
I think Indian people are extremely warm. And the most beautiful part of India is the diversity of India. We have so much to see and so much to experience here. I can keep traveling the jungles of India and never be able to complete it in a lifetime. So that is the amount of diversity that we have in India.
That is amazing.
If you really want to ever see a tiger in the wild, you'll probably have to come to India. The international travel has started, Yusuf. What's that one thing that bothers me in India? The media has not been doing its job very correctly. And being somebody from the media industry, that bothers me a lot. I feel journalism is dying. But thankfully, now we have the digital platforms to make up for it. Every news that's coming out is very shadowed. It's a one-sided story. So many religions. There's a lot of migration that has happened into the city. So like we say very, very often that Delhi does not have anybody from Delhi. Delhi has people from everywhere. So I'm a Hindu. In my own religion, we have so many gods, so many festivals happening. There are Hindu festivals that are happening. There are Muslim festivals that are happening. There are Christian festivals that are happening. So there are some days that are celebrated in the south of India. There are some days that are celebrated in the north of India. I very strongly feel that Hinduism is not really a religion. It's a way of life. Right. We celebrate everything from cutting crop to we celebrate the sun, we celebrate the moon, we celebrate the plants. So we celebrate life. And we don't even realize that there are so many different festivals from so many different religions that we celebrate as Indians, So we are celebrating Christmas, we are celebrating the Eid, we are celebrating everything, which is...
This harmony is so beautiful and it just builds on the idea of humanity.
So the Color Festival is a summer festival. So we have to keep something for summers as well, right? Internationally, there's this whole image or the stereotype of Bollywood being, there's a musical with dances and, over dramatic melodrama happening and, the hero walking in and fighting and, all of that. India is only known for Bollywood, but India has a lot of different film industries within India. So we have South Indian film industry. which is different from Bollywood. Then we have a Punjabi film industry. Then we have a Bhojpuri film industry. And those are big budget films. And, those are very commercial, very mainstream films that are being made. There's a shift from the mainstream stereotypical musical that is happening. There are a lot of women-centric films that are being made. Quintessentially, a Bollywood film will be about a hero, and his journey and his story. There are films being made on political stories, films being made on very relevant social issues, which is very interesting. The Indian cinema has seen a change. The audience is looking at and accepting a lot of different content. The audience is accepting actors more than heroes now. There are a lot of new actors. There's a whole generation of new talent that has come in, which is doing absolutely amazingly. And a lot of credit goes to the OTT platforms like Netflix, Amazon, Disney, Hotstar. So it has given a lot of acceptance to new talent. यूसुफ, तुमने बहुत अच्छा इंटरव्यू लिया और मुझे बहुत मजा आया ये करके, पर तुमने बहुत तेज बोला जो तुमने बोला, तो मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आया कि तुम क्या बोल रहे थे.
Oh God.
So I said, Yusuf, you did a fantastic interview. I had a lot of fun, but then you spoke in Arabic really, really fast and I couldn't understand a word what you said. You have to teach me 3 words in Arabic, and then I will teach you 3 words in Hindi. Ellen Yusuf. See, I got that. Tiger?
Nimr.
Nimr.
Yes.
Nimr. That's nice. See, I learned something new about tigers.
A bag, you might need that while you're going into the jungle.
Shanta. If you have to say, I'm hungry.
Muchi Puk Lagi Hai.
It was lovely talking to you, Yusuf. I had a lot of fun doing this.
I really, really appreciate it. Best of luck with all what you're doing.
Best of luck to you too.
If you guys like this episode, make sure you follow the series and let us know in the comments which topics you'd like us to talk about next.